Hello and welcome to Chart Forecast. My name is Zero and thank you for tuning in. Before everything, I obviously want to apologize for the severe lack of episodes over the last few weeks. I have been extremely taken up both in my personal life and on YouTube. As some of you guys may know, I operate multiple YouTube channels, one of which just became partnered about a month ago, and so most of my resources online have come to that channel instead of here, and for that I apologize. In this episode, I'm also going to try a few things when it comes to certain sections of the episode, just to make the format a little bit more digestible and a bit more ease of access. So tell me what you guys think about these changes. This week, we will be analyzing and discussing the predictions for the Billboard Hot 100 week of April 1st, 2023. And with this, let's start our episode with the top 10, where for another week, Flowers by Miley Cyrus stays at number 1. Now, it is here due to lack of competition, and it is kind of back to where it was just a few weeks ago, in fact, when I stopped making the episodes. Not only is it not that strong of a number 1 anymore, but it also has some more stable competition at number 2, Kill Bill by SZA. Now this week, it did not gain due to some shaky radio and some potent streams, but it is more stable than Flowers nonetheless, and once again, probably for the 4th or 5th time right now, it is back in the competition for the number 1 spot just in a few weeks' time, potentially. But at number 3 and losing 1 spot, we have Last Night by Morgan Wallen. Now, I consider this song to be in the number 1 discussion still, as yes, it peaked mostly due to streaming, but you should see how fast the radio is being deployed behind this, both on pop and country radio. And if those rise fast enough, it could easily take back the number 1 in just a few weeks' time once again. At number 4 and gaining 1 spot, Creepin' by Metro Boomin, 21 Savage and The Weeknd, which did get a remix and a music video that did not impact as much as expected, which was pretty surprising to see. And as such, it's in a bit of an awkward spot because we all expected the music video and the remix to do some major impact and potentially make the song contend for number 1, which just didn't happen, and so the song is just gonna be here, potentially for a little while, not really going anywhere anymore. At number 5 and losing 1 spot, Die For You by The Weeknd and Ariana Grande. It is quite clear to me that the song has peaked, the radio has been losing for a little while now, and the streaming is also losing pretty hard, and in fact it kinda has some weird bouncy movements from day to day, it's kinda hard to track. Nonetheless, I don't think this song is going to go back to the top 4. At number 6 and remaining stable, Boy's a Liar by Pink Pantheress and Ice Spice, which still has pretty good streaming, but the radio is not really moving as fast as you would think, which is pretty odd to see for a song that debuted so high. At number 7, also remaining stable, Anti-Hero by Taylor Swift. Again, I think this song has peaked. It gained in points this week due to some release we will talk about later in the episode, but as it is right now, I don't think Anti-Hero is going to make any more movements from now on. At number 8 and also remaining stable, Calm Down by Rema and Selena Gomez. The song gains in points this week, and in fact the bulk of it seems to be from sales, as the song received the Sales Gainer Award this week, and it doesn't seem to have peaked yet on radio, although the streaming is not really moving a lot, which could either be good or bad. We will have to see, but in any case, it seems like this song hasn't completely ran out of steam yet. And breaking into the top 10 at number 9 and gaining 3 spots, Players by Coi Leray. Now, this song is long overdue to make its entry into the top 10. It received the Airplay Gainer Award this week, although the streaming seems to have sharply fallen off since its peak, which could be pretty dangerous for later on. As it is right now, it seems to be stable on all radio formats it's on and gaining, so we'll have to see how far this one goes. And also breaking into the top 10 and gaining 1 spot, Rock and a Hard Place by Bailey Zimmerman. This song makes its entry into the top 10 41 weeks into its chart run. And even though the radio is pretty big and is one of the main reasons it's finally here, the song still has pretty good streaming. And in fact, I would not be surprised if the song makes multiple weeks into the top 10. On to our losers and dropouts, and in the latter category we don't really have any notable ones apart from a lot of Morgan Wallen and a lot of Miley Cyrus from last week. The two I wanted to point out are Por Si Volvemos by Karol G and Romeo Santos, and Private Landing by Don Toliver featuring Future and Justin Bieber. Neither of which were exactly big hits, but they still managed to notch a few weeks regardless, and they might potentially come back later if they get some radio promotion. And with that said, here are all the losers projected from this week. Onto our gainers and re-entries, where our latter category once again doesn't really have anything big, but it's still pretty notable, with first of all Here With Me by David coming back at number 100, Backend by Finesse 2 Times at number 96, and Human by Cody Johnson at number 90. I'm unsure if this tells any kind of rise for some of these songs, especially the last two, but it's still pretty interesting nonetheless that they managed to come back now. And with that, here are the projected gainers from this week, and I will talk about a few in a little bit. The biggest projected gainer this week is PRC by Peso Pluma and Nathaniel Cano, gaining 23 spots to number 72. And this is absolutely not the last of Peso Pluma on the charts, as he also sees AMG with Gabito Ballesteros gaining 15 spots to number 71, and Por las Noches by himself gaining 18 spots to number 74. His rise onto the charts has been pretty quick and pretty incredible to see, considering he's from a genre that just a year ago was struggling to make entries onto the Hot 100. And considering a lot of these entries are collabs, this might represent a breakthrough for the regional Mexican scene sooner rather than later, I think. The last few gains I wanted to mention are Spin 'Bout You by Drake and 21 Savage gaining 6 spots to number 39. I bet a lot of you guys didn't even know the song was this high now. And in fact, it has been on a pretty good radio run recently, and that explains its high position. What He Didn't Do by Carly Pearce gaining 16 spots to number 36. And Favorite Song by Tusi gaining 15 spots to number 21. This song is quickly becoming a hit on all platforms and also on radio. I would keep my eyes on this song. And now we can finally talk about our debuts, which we have a good amount of, but especially in our bottom 20. So let's start with number 98, Cupid by 50/50. Now, unless you guys are really involved in Twitter, I doubt you have heard what this song even is. This is a K-pop song by a brand new K-pop outlet called 50/50, and it is making the chart already as it is steadily rising on Spotify and also has some solid YouTube. As always, K-pop songs are a little bit hard to predict because they can have some wonky paid-free ratios and that can kind of throw off everything, but nonetheless, the breakout of another new K-pop group onto the charts so soon is kind of incredible to see, especially in the US. As I imagine radio will refuse to touch the song, I don't think it will go anywhere on that format, and as such it will only have to rely on streaming. Probably we will have a chart run similar to Ditto's, where it spends a good amount of weeks in the bottom 20 without really going anywhere, unfortunately. At number 97, I See You by Coco Jones. If I have to put a label or a comparison for this song, it would be like Hours and Hours by Moody Long from last year. The chart run and the breakout is kind of nearly identical. This song has pretty decent streaming but is already on a radio run, and as such, I don't think it will have any trouble rising in the next few weeks. At number 95, Nasty by Russ. Just like probably a lot of you guys, this one caught me off guard as it only had made the streaming charts for just a few days and I really didn't think much of it. I don't think it had a shot at debuting. And yet here it is with some pretty decent streaming and some good sales to boot. Now, Russ songs don't typically go anywhere unless they have some kind of promotion or radio behind them, so I don't think this song will be a multi-week charter unless it gets some severe radio and quickly. At number 94, Death by Melanie Martinez. This song is here due to some huge Spotify and nearly nothing else. And as such, it could be very hard to predict where these songs will go. It doesn't seem to have a viral moment, so it doesn't seem like it will rise anytime soon, but it's still pretty odd to see a Melanie Martinez song this year on the charts. At number 92, Moonlight by Uchis. This song is mainly here due to streaming, and it seems like some promotion is being made already behind the song, but we'll see what that gives. Uchis didn't really have the greatest radio runs when Telepatia broke out. At number 87, El Gordo Trae el Mando by Chino Pacas. This song has been charting on Bubbling Under for a few weeks already, so it's not surprising to see a breakout now with the Morgan Wallen songs leaving, but it honestly could go anywhere once again. It's the same story with these kinds of songs. They either get a lot of radio or they really don't. They just float here due to streaming. As such, keep your eye out on the song. Maybe it will be big, maybe it won't. We will have to see. At number 86, Coco Chanel by Eladio Carrion and Bad Bunny. This song is debuting on the first week, but I expect it to rise pretty hard next week, as it did on global Spotify and other streaming platforms. If you guys don't know who Eladio Carrion is, it is another artist from Rimas Entertainment, which is Bad Bunny's label, or at least the one he's part of. And even outside of this song, Eladio's album actually did pretty decent numbers on the Billboard 200, so if he has another breakout within the year or the next one, I would not be surprised. But in any case, I would keep my eyes peeled on this song. And like I teased you guys at number 81, La Bebe by Young Lucas and Peso Pluma. This is a remix of a song that dropped a few years ago, and the remix has now gone viral due to Peso Pluma's breakout, and as such, it's probably going to be here on streaming only for the remainder of its chart run. I don't think there's really anything notable that's going to happen here. At number 68, Eat Your Young by Hosier. Much like the Melanie Martinez song, this song debuted with huge Spotify and little to nothing else, albeit some pretty decent sales. This song can honestly go anywhere, it seems to be pretty stable on said Spotify, and some radio stations have already given it plays, so if it gets radio, it might be a pretty decent hit, we'll have to see. At number 48, Set Me Free Part 2 by Jimin. The song is here on streaming and great sales, and in fact it is one of the highest debuts for a solo BTS project I think we've seen yet. And with his album impacting the charts next week, either this song is going to remain pretty stable or it might even gain, but in any case, this song might stick a few weeks on the chart. Once again, radio is not going to touch this song unfortunately, so we'll have to see. At number 44, 5 Leaf Clover by Luke Combs. Mainly here due to streaming and it has some pretty decent sales behind it, the song is probably going to rise next week with the album once again impacting the charts. I will note that despite the TikTok hype behind this song, it didn't really debut super high, or at least compared to some other Luke Combs single he's dropped for this album cycle. So this will be interesting. If the radio moves pretty fast behind it, it might be a pretty stable hit, but as it is right now, again, it might stick a few weeks on the chart and not really go anywhere beyond that. At number 26, and once again I teased you guys about this, Ella Baila Sola by Eslabon Armado and Peso Pluma. This song's debut on the streaming charts was pretty incredible to witness for everyone. I don't think any one of us had any idea this would debut this high, but in any case, it has great streaming, a little bit of sales, and of course no radio. Though Eslabon Armado singles do tend to get some radio pretty quickly, so this song's chances on that format aren't completely dead. As it is right now, it seems to be pretty stable, so it will fall next week, just not really that much. We'll see. And finally at number 12, All of the Girls You Loved Before by Taylor Swift. This is mainly here due to streaming, but it also has some pretty good sales behind it as well and a little bit of curiosity spins on radio. It seems to be pretty successful on streaming even without much promotion, which means that if it does get hit, it might be a pretty potent hit. As it is right now, once again it is going to fall, just not really too hard in my opinion. And that is our week. Once again, I apologize for the missing previous episodes. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this type of content. It was Zero, and hopefully you have a good rest of the week.